So, old Doc Tracy is trying to walk me through my anxiety issues. Welcome to the Enough Already podcast. I'm Fingers. She's Tracy. I'm a busy man. I'm trying to spin 30 plates at the same time. And if you saw me on the video version of this podcast on YouTube and BitChute, it looks like I'm doing a 23 skidoo. For you people under the over the age of 80, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, no, that's all.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
You know, I got the show I do with Tony Katz. It's nationally syndicated now, and it's growing, and we're really happy about that. We were at a cigar trade show on Saturday. I smoked 7 cigars in 5 hours.
How awful did you feel after that?
It was not one of my better days. I'll just say that. I enjoy cigars, obviously. I do this show. It's called Eat, Drink, Smoke. And they're wonderful, but I may smoke 2 a week. But it was a trade show. We were having people come, and I've been going through editing, like tons of audio. We got like 3 hours worth of audio. And, everyone who was from, a different cigar maker would sit down. Oh, you got to try this. You got to try this. You got to try this. So I'm in Rome. So I'm between that and, I love doing this show, and I got the snark factor on Wham Talk 1600. And so this week has been a blur, and now I have to go to the eye doctor because I'm 80 and my eyes are failing me. I've got astigmatism probably and cataracts. And anything else you can think of that an old person would have. I'm not that old, Tracy. In the grand scheme of things, I'm still a young buck if you ask my 82-year-old dad. But so I don't know what you can do with all that.
Yeah, I need more time. We'll do a therapy session for you a different day. I need to get a little further along in my studies.
I need Biden's doctors. They seem to keep him really calm. There was a while there, he would get really animated, especially when he was talking about Rub-a-Dub. What was his name? The guy from the pool, Corn Pop. Corn Pop. He'd get really worked up about Corn Pop. But now, man, he's just...
I think that's what happens when you get lobotomized.
Oh, is that what it is?
So I don't know if those are still going on anywhere, but I'll look into that for you. I'm writing myself a note.
I could see where maybe it would be for if Joe Biden has had the same doctor since he was a teenager, that maybe they bled him with leeches and then. How
old would that doctor? Are you saying John McCain's mother is his doctor? Because I think she outlived him, didn't she?
I believe she's still alive.
She's still alive. That's there you go. And all the pieces fit. See,
they're all part of our elite, Tracy. They get the real medicine.
They do.
So there's that. Well, I don't know. Where do we begin this week?
Well, Fingers, you left us last week to rush off to the casino.
Yes.
So I'm dying to know, what was it like in the casino? Is it Mask City? Are people smoking through the masks? I've seen people that have a cutout for a cig.
I've seen that too. No. Well, this is what was strange. So there's a Harrah's casino within driving distance of my house in central Indiana. And Harrah's is a big name. It's owned by Caesars, and Caesars was just bought by someone. People are buying casinos. It's nuts. So, but Harrah's has been a name that gamblers are familiar with, and they've been in that name has been in the casino business for decades. So went there. Pulled in, they had a line roped off where you had to do the social distancing to get in. They asked you a series of questions.
Hang on. Do they have like cutouts on the floor of where to stand that look like chips?
No, they don't. Just lines.
Line.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So you stand in line, then you go up in a casino host who is very thrilled to be standing there asking the same questions over and over again we'll ask you a series of questions. Have you traveled internationally in the last 14 days? Have you?
Do they hook you up to a lie detector?
No, but they do take your temperature in a machine that looked like it would detect metal on you from an airport in 1980. So
So it's more theater, huh?
yes, you walk up to, after you answer those questions, you walk up to a second person who takes your ID, scans your ID, a little creepy, scans your ID, and then you smile, look into a camera as they take your temperature and picture, just in case. So if you have a fever, you got to get the hell out. So you got to pull your mask down for that. So you have the mask below the chin. So if you got a little thing going on like that, you got a little gobble, gobble, gobble. It's like a chin lift, a brief chin lift for the picture. But then you walk in, and then that's where the real fun begins. Everyone's wearing a mask, unless you were eating, you were drinking, or you're smoking.
So you just ate and drank and smoked the whole time?
Yeah, just feeding.
That would have been my
face.
game.
Feeding my face. No, I did not. In fact, I thought about bringing a cigar with me to be that guy that annoys everyone by smoking a cigar around them while they're trying to gamble. But I didn't, because I didn't know how anal they were going to be about where you're going to have to take a puff of your cigar, then put the mask back on, then take the mask off and do another puff.
Right, but it's not like a cigar is a big thing to carry around.
Yeah, but I don't want it on me if I can't smoke it. It'll be calling me. It'll be calling me.
You mean the slot doesn't outweigh the draw of the nicotine?
It enhances it.
Interesting. Okay.
So
right.
so it wants they want to be married. Why won't you let them be married, Tracy?
I don't know. Bring it up with your governor.
Oh, my governor's a piece of work. But anyway, so what was really strange though was so you had the people that were smoking and they were taking the mask off, doing the drag, and then after a while it was just like, well, I'm gonna keep my mask off the entire time. So you got a bunch of people that have the hang, where the mask is just hanging on one ear while they're sitting there and they're playing and drinking. And I would say about 25% of the machines were on for people to play. The other 75% were shut off for social distancing. They also had, on blackjack tables, there were only 3 people at a blackjack table. They were spaced apart, no smoking at the blackjack table. And a lot of times, as you know, when you walk through a casino at these table games, you'll have the people playing, and then you'll have the onlookers from, behind, sitting, drinking, watching people play cards. That's forbidden. You cannot stand behind people while they're playing blackjack. So that was done. Also, the bars, there's a big bar in the middle of this casino that has probably about, 40, 50 machines, and all those machines were turned off, and they had a little drink station where you could go up. The other thing too is, unlike the Vegas casinos, a lot of them, these casinos in the Midwest, you don't get a drink for free if you are gambling, but they do offer complimentary self-serve pop, coffee, other beverages. Those stations were shut down. You were not allowed to walk up. Just like if you were going to a Subway, I don't know at this point if you dine in on Subway, if you are allowed to get your own pop, or if the Subway peeps make the pop for you. But those machines are shut down. So, but the good news is I won $100. So really,
you came out $100 ahead, or you won $100?
I came out $100 ahead.
Okay. Because you could have won $100 and then lost it all, and you just leave off that part of the story.
I was 100 down, and then I won $200, and then I quit. So I was playing video poker, and I got 4 threes with an ace, which is a $200 jackpot on a $1.25 bet. So
nice.
Yeah, I don't like playing blackjack in these small casinos that are not Vegas, because the table minimums are too rich for my blood. Usually they're $15 a hand, and then you got a bunch of guys that are like, there's always one that will be playing his cards and he'll be playing your cards too. And if you do screw up, I'm pretty good, but you know, sometimes, especially I've got a couple drinks in me, basic strategy gets intoxicated.
You
So
lose count.
yeah, there's that too. And so he'll keep track of when you screw up and he loses. He doesn't keep track of when you screw up and he wins. So
Sure.
it's just like, ugh, people. Am I right? Keep them away
Yes.
from me. So
Yes.
that's when I venture over to the video poker and I just play that and drink. So,
Okay.
so that was the casino trip. I'm sure you were expecting a 1.5-minute answer, and it was a 7-minute long extravaganza.
Well, yeah, you're all caffeined up.
Yeah, let's go with caffeine.
Okay.
No, I've never done cocaine. It's a little joke.
I know.
Little joke. I told you about the one time I had cocaine around me, didn't I?
I don't know if I know that story.
So
I guess I'm going to hear it.
Quickly, 15 years ago, I had, 20 years ago, I had some friends over, and I have a little half bath off my garage, and I poke my head in there, and here's a guy, he's got 4 lines of Coke on my bathroom counter. And he looks at me and says, do you want to do a line? I thought about it for a split second. But then I was like, no, that's okay. Because I thought to myself, I'll do a line of cocaine. My heart will pop like a zit. And then everyone in my family will have to hear, oh, heard about fingers. Huge cokehead, huh? Never tried it in my life. So I was like, nah, not worth it. So yeah. I hear it's a fantastic drug when you're young.
I've heard the same thing. And for the same reason as you, I never went near it.
Yeah.
Because who the hell is ever going to believe that, oh, it was just the first time that they had ever done it.
Right.
Yeah. But they effectively scared the shit out of us with that one in school. Not so much the other ones, and I don't know why.
Well, you know, a big thing in school when I was there was a lot of kids were doing mushrooms. Mm-hmm. Mushrooms. And it seemed like a lot of work.
What's involved, fingers? You gotta eat the mushrooms.
Well, you had to go, you know, so I think some of them would find them, and you know, then you gotta
that's kind of dumb. Like, you have to know when you're playing around with mushrooms, unless you know exactly what the hell you're eting. Right. I wouldn't be just foraging for those things.
Right. Yes. You don't know what you're getting your hands on. So so I don't know. I've always just liked booze.
I can relate.
So
I've created a fantastic new cocktail that I would encourage everybody to try.
Go on.
So I found this new tequila, and I believe it's either Luna Azul or Azul Luna, which is a clever way to get around the trademark for Blue Moon. Because that's what it means in Espanol.
Okay.
It's like, these bastards, they're dipping in on that. Blue Moon's Belgian beer, right?
That seems like a very China thing to do, but you know, hey, whatever.
Apparently it's hecho en Mexico. That was your Spanish lesson for the day. That means made in Mexico. So I just got some of that, and then I bought some Goya. Makes a lovely pineapple juice. So it's just a little can like this, and half a fifth and 1 full can of that later. Delicious.
Oof.
Just mix the two. There's no alcohol taste at all. Honestly, it's like gone. It's dangerous how good it tastes.
Oh, that's not good then. Because you could get yourself into some trouble.
Yes. But I do this all from the safety of my couch.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But
there's nowhere to go.
Right. Well, for you, you know, I've been, you know, like I said, this trade show on Saturday, the cigar trade show was at a bar in downtown Indianapolis. You know, Thursdays, Fridays, you know, sometimes Wednesdays, we record from a bar in Indianapolis for the syndicated show. So bars are open everywhere in Indiana, but I did notice right before we decided to start recording that the governor Governor Holcomb here in Indiana has new mask guidelines. I believe he signed something, you know, he's using his phone and his pen, which has been a thing now for you know, since 2009. It's a fun thing, except this is the governor instead of Barack Obama. So listen, we've talked about this previously. I wear a mask when I go out just to be courteous. You know, I think a lot of this is pandemic prevention theater, but if it makes the store clerk feel a little bit safer, then fine. But when you get to the point where you're having governors sign executive orders, just I'm going to sign a piece of paper ordering you to wear a mask. Oh, screw you. You shouldn't have that kind of, I don't believe you have that power, but apparently nobody's going to challenge you on it. So that's where we are. But, you know, here I am in Indiana bitching about that. And you are, what's going on in Pennsylvania? I mean, do you have, are bars open? Are your liquor stores open?
Oh, of course. The state owns them. They need that money.
Oh, I thought for a while they were closed.
They were closed temporarily, but they were doing curbside pickup. Because we have the highest alcohol tax in the whole country, I think.
Right.
There's some crazy, I think it's an 18% tax above the state sales tax to pay for a flood that happened in the 1930s.
Not always the case. Yeah. I think there's still a tourism tax in Marion County, which is Indianapolis, for a hospitality tax or a rental car tax to pay for the RCA Dome, which was the place the Colts played at before they, and you know, now they got Lucas Oil Stadium. So apparently that, but you know, once that tax is there, oh, we can't get rid of the tax. We got other needs that we need to spend that revenue on.
And they don't even bother renaming it.
Right.
Like this is like the Johnstown flood tax. And then you're like, okay, Johnstown flood. Oh, 1933. We still haven't paid that one off yet.
It was a big flood, Tracy. There was lots of water.
Huge.
We're still talking about it in Johnstown. Oh, good gravy.
Man. I know.
So, I don't know. It's you're seeing all this stuff about the data, and we continue to hear these stories. You mentioned it a couple weeks ago, I think off the air, about a woman who claimed to go to a testing site and filled out the paperwork and then backed out, didn't get the test, and then got written notification sometime later that she had tested positive, even though she had not actually gone through with the test. And you want to say, okay, listen, these are just odd occurrences. This isn't the norm. And because this is a story that is shocking, it's getting a lot of play in the media, and this isn't the norm. This is just, you know, an odd occurrence. But I don't know, man. I'll tell you, there have been a lot of these stories. We talked about one, I think about 2 months ago, about the guy in Colorado who died on his living room, probably drinking pineapple juice and tequila. He had a blood alcohol level of like 0.3. It was something ridiculous, but he had, in the autopsy report, it showed that he was exposed to the coronavirus. I don't know if he just had the antibodies, or if he was actively. And listen, I'm not a doctor. I don't know the terms. All I know is they knew that he had the virus, and so they listed it as a COVID-19 death. The dude had a 0.3 blood alcohol level. And
that's insane.
Yeah, the motorcycle accident outside of Orlando, they're saying that's a COVID-19 death. I think they ended up retracting that because there was so much, there was an outcry from the public saying, well, wait a minute, how are you saying that was the result of COVID-19? But so it almost feels like, I don't want to say we're like China, because China, it's absolutely ridiculous how they're lying about the numbers. But I think that you can really be suspicious of what you're hearing as far as the data goes. Nobody knows what to believe.
Well, the government sucks at keeping track of data, and people just believe whatever they say. We've been joking about it for years, and they're like, oh, there's 11 million illegals. Or undocumented, which is the term that they use. And you're like, well, wait a minute. If you don't document them, how are you counting them? This doesn't make any sense. But people just oh, okay, they threw out a number. The number gets anchored in your brain. We learned this in our Cialdini persuasion stuff. When you're in a negotiation, throw out a giant number to begin with. Like, I could charge you $10 million for my services, and then people get that plugged in their head and they can't get rid of it. And it doesn't even occur to them because it hits at a subconscious level. So they're just blasting these numbers in your face. I saw this thing going around now where if you Google any combination of 3 digits and COVID deaths, you'll get a story that comes up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you look into it a little, well, I mean, it's just kicking you to a story with some numbers. It's not necessarily, exact matches on the number thing, but
right.
I get the point. I think enough people, more and more people every day are getting sick of this and think that they've accidentally taken the crazy pills.
Well, if you go county by county,
mm-hmm.
and you don't live in 100 miles inside of the circle of New York City, and I look at my county, and I'll see something like 1,500 confirmed cases of a county that has close to 400,000 people. And while I think we should take this seriously, at the same time you look at those numbers and then you see deaths, 120, 130 out of 400,000 people. Is you look at that data, if it's accurate, who the hell knows? If anything, you think it's some of it's inflated. The deaths are probably inflated a tad, but probably the number of cases are probably counted because there are people walking around and they have no idea that they've had it or ever had it. But to shut down our entire economy over this, it's maddening. And yet here we are. You still have people running around not wanting kids to go back to school, and we need to close everything back up again.
Yeah, and they're fighting right now on Capitol Hill about how much more money to throw out.
The last I saw was that, and this is just a half-hearted effort on Republicans' part, where they're saying, well, listen, it's got to be for people with an income less than $40,000 a year. You don't need it if you make more than 40 grand. Damn well in an election year, there's no way that's going to stand. They're going to cave on that.
Oh, sure. And they're saying that they're going to back off of the extra $600 a week that people are getting in unemployment. They're going to back that down to $300.
I have seen interesting proposals by some from the right on where they would give people an incentive to go back to work.
How about you cut off unemployment?
That's one way. Honestly, one of the place where I really noticed it is every once in a while, I'll just open up my Lyft or Uber app just for kicks and try to find a Lyft or Uber right now. It's damn near impossible. I saw this a couple weeks ago.
Definitely making more sitting around than collecting that check plus 600.
Sure, and they have every right to be nervous. If you are an Uber driver and you're driving a Toyota Yaris picking people up, you're 2 feet away from someone, and people are awful. So I can understand saying to yourself, geez, why should I take the risk when they're going to pay me $600 to stay home on top of state unemployment?
I mean, we're getting a little taste of what UBI would be like, right? Universal basic income, like Andrew Yang wanted. So remember, one of the selling points, because Pelosi said this crap a long time ago, remember fun employment under Obama?
Yeah.
So people are going to be freed up to go pursue whatever it is that they have. Like maybe they have creative talents that they just haven't been able to realize because they have to go to work every day. So coming out of this, we should have an insane boom in art and all kinds of content creation and all that if all this nonsense that they used to sell us on this was even close to being true. And I have a feeling it's not happening. It's just speculation.
It depends on if you consider tweets art.
And a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. Tweets may be considered art.
TikTok videos.
TikTok videos, Molotov cocktails being thrown into empty police cars.
True. I guess taking down statues could be considered performance art. They should really apply for grants.
Right?
Yeah, why not?
Now's the time.
Jam
Seize the
pack.
day
Yeah.
is what I say.
Seize the day and the sledgehammer.
Oh, good Lord. You see the poll numbers, and you have to wonder. I go back and forth between Trump is going to win and Trump is going to lose bigly, because I wonder if people are going to reward the left for their behavior. I wonder if there's going to be a certain segment of the population that's going to be like, oh, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the news. I'm tired of the riots. If I just vote Trump out of office, maybe all this will go away. Of course it won't. But I worry that people are going to reward this behavior by saying, oh, I just can't stand this. And then there's another part of me that says these campaign ads for Trump are going to write themselves, and in the fall, people just aren't going to stand for this shit.
I think it's going more in that direction, especially the longer and longer this all goes on, because they're just not covering it. It's still happening in every major city.
Yeah, Portland
I saw that
is
they
a
busted
dumpster
up
fire.
Right, and they busted up the Occupy New York thing overnight. The one that we talked about last week, where I said that reporter got hit, and he did get smacked with a 2x4. It did actually make contact with his face. So that was a correction that I wanted to make.
Well, they definitely have upped their game, because you could walk through an Occupy encampment and never feel like you'd be threatened. It's like, oh, look at the drum circles. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, but now you've got guys that have been sitting back, dreaming of this day, and they're showing up in Portland with hammers, hitting federal law enforcement over the head with hammers. And it's like, wow, that is definitely not what I remember Occupy being when I would walk through an Occupy camp. So, but
No.
again, I cannot believe the number of people I've talked to who live in blue states just in the last week that have said, I'm leaving. I can't take this anymore. I'm getting, Virginia is a big one. I can't live in Virginia anymore. I've got to move. And they're looking to move to Florida, Indiana, or Tennessee. It's like, I can't say I blame you. But from what you've shown on previous show notes, a lot of people are leaving California and they're moving to Nashville, and they're turning Nashville a little blue, which is amazing to me. You vote this shit in your state. The shit wrecks your state. You're going to leave the state and go wreck another state.
They don't make the connection.
They're the co-vote virus.
Okay. You were going for the episode title with that one, huh?
The COVID virus. The co-vote virus.
Yeah.
That'll work. Oh my gosh. I mean, seriously, I'm supposed to go to Austin soon, and my heart just isn't in it. It's like, I was so into the idea of traveling and a group of friends get together, but it's just like, oh God, you don't know. 3 weeks from now, if the bars are going to be open. And here's the thing too about Austin, because of all the California people moving to Austin, it's a wild card. Texas could have everything open, but Austin would be like, oh, no. We have to have everything shut down. And you have to wear 2 masks in case one mask slips off your face. You have to wear a second mask. I want to go. I've never been to Austin. I heard it's awesome. But heart's not in it anymore. And then I don't know, sports. This weekend we rally around sports. Baseball's supposed to start up this weekend, which is exciting because I'm sick of watching golf and cornhole on ESPN.
They're showing cornhole on ESPN.
Professional cornhole, Tracy.
I've played that once at a bar and I was really good at it. So maybe that's my new goal in life.
Well, I Googled it, and apparently you can make up to $25,000 a year as a professional cornhole player. These guys,
Wow.
I mean,
Is it mixed like men and women together or?
I just saw men
Wow.
teams, and I think they have singles too. But they could. It was almost like bowling,
Do
where
you
it would.
drink?
No, oh no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
it's a sport.
It's a sport. Please, Tracy. The beanbag would hit the board and it would almost curve like a bowling ball. Like there could
Hmm.
be like there could be a sack
It's a beanbag.
beanbag right in front of the hole, and they would be able to make it curve around the beanbag and go into the hole.
Well, they are professionals.
That's true. That's how you get to $25,000 a year. So the question is, how has the CARES Act impacted the professional cornhole circuit? Because you could make more money sitting at home than playing cornhole.
I don't know. We're going to have to send you out to do some coverage at one of these events. Where are they taking place?
I don't know. I just saw that, Johnsonville Brats was the big sponsor. Because, you're outside, you're cooking on the grill, and you're playing some cornhole, apparently.
Big beanbag hasn't gotten in on it?
Well, eventually they will. And then it won't be about the cornhole anymore.
No, it won't. But I wanted to tell everybody about, I know you've got to run in just a second.
Yes.
But I wanted to tell everyone, if they want to escape from American news, that I found a fantastic news site, which Fingers finally looked at, I think, for the first time yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Ground.news. So you go to ground, as in I'm standing on the ground.news. And it's this massive aggregator of news from all over the world. So you can just jump around in a little interactive map and see, what's the most popular story? And let me see, Singapore, what are they talking about? What's going on over here and there? And then if you get into it and get to higher level, the paid app, which I think is something like $9 a year, you can check out the bias of the reporting. So it gives you all the news sites. You can jump between the headlines, left to right, see if there's a story that's being reported only on one side and not the other. And they put out that, and weekly you can sign up for their blind side report. And then you can see the timeline too of when stories came out and in what order. So I was finding all these Portland stories, and they're coming out of New Zealand press, Canadian press, Australian press, Asian press. Okay. So somebody's there on the ground reporting on this stuff. And I'm sure it's like every night on the news in New Zealand, it's Portland's gone up in flames again. Can you believe it? These crazy Americans, yet we don't see a thing. So like this morning I was on there and I learned that the British Parliament did an investigation into whether or not Russia interfered with Brexit. Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
I did, because I saw it on Ground News. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will throw the link up on the site, on the locals, everywhere else for everybody to check it out. But I highly recommend it. I find it so fascinating. Follow
it is
topics
great and a little creepy if you zoom in on your neighborhood to see what your neighbors are reading.
It goes down to the local level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool. And you can step back and see what the rest of the world thinks of us through their reporting, what's important in the rest of the world. It's pretty cool. So, and just so you know, the British Parliament found that Russia did not interfere.
This time.
But they did interfere with the Scottish referendum vote. It's like, okay, really? For what purpose?
Okay. That Putin. Got a lot of time on his hands.
He really does.
Well, unfortunately, we have to cut this short because I have to go to the eye doctor. So,
yeah.
Remember, you can catch the Enough Already podcast on your favorite podcast platform and watch it on YouTube and BitChute. Final thoughts, Tracy?
No, I'm just going to dig into the news of the world. What weird countries' news should I look at? Like
Caspiar.
You're making up stuff.
Andy Kaufman fan, and you don't.
Never liked him.
Okay, Latvia. Look up Latvian news for me and give me a report
I will.
next week. She's Tracy. I'm Fingers. We'll be back soon with an all new Enough Already.